Hello everyone, Lakesis here. I wanted to make a quick update video, get that AoE stuff out of the way that I promised I was going to do months ago, and talk a little bit about what's changed with Druid Tanking in the past couple of months, with 4.1 and then 4.2 coming out. My previous video, which I'll probably make an annotation somewhere on the screen so you can click on it and find it if I ever figure out how to do annotations. My previous video was made maybe, I don't know, 2 months after Cataclysm release, something like that. So there have been some changes. Excuse me. So, first thing I want to do, talk a little bit about swipe. It's been changed from a 6-second cooldown to a 3-second cooldown. Thank God. So, not really much to say there. It's still very important. Now you just hit it twice as often. That means less room in your rotation for spare lacerates, but not to worry. You should be able to get 3 lacerates up between each pulverize without any trouble. As long as you have decent hit and expertise, which, by the way, you should not be gemming or reforging for, but I do anyway. Just a little bit. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. So, my talent spec. There's been a few changes here, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. In my last video, I was mentioning Stampede and saying I might take a point out of it to put into Perseverance and fill it out. I did do that, because Stampede is an extremely situational talent, while Perseverance is also an extremely situational talent, but it's a talent that will help me survive instead of simply helping me look better on recount. In the interest of looking better on recount, though, I picked up King of the Jungle and put a point in there. And I was really happy to do that, because at the end of Wrath of the Lich King, I loved having King of the Jungle filled out with that tier 10 4-piece bonus. I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. But then the 4-piece bonus went away, and Enrage became a really dangerous thing to hit in combat again, because for a very long time, Enrage would either decrease your armor or increase damage taken, depending on what version of the game we're talking about. It was very recently changed to not have any negative effects at all. So I could have every boss in Icecrown Citadel beating my face in, and I'd press Enrage and not take any more damage. Granted, I'd probably die within a few seconds no matter what with all those bosses on my face, but never mind. Blood Queen Lanathel on my face. That would kind of be... Anyway, so yeah, I picked up King of the Jungle to get extra 5% damage when I hit Enrage, so now I use Enrage on cooldown as well. When I'm not planning to use it, with a Berserk for extra damage with the free Mangles, or when I'm not, say, trash tanking and I know I'm going to need Enrage in the next 60 seconds for the next pull or something like that, most of the time I'm using Enrage on cooldown. I believe that's everything that I had to talk about with the class changes. So I'm going to leave you here and cut on over to that other Lachesis who's actually doing something that involves killing mobs, and let him explain a little bit about what he wanted to talk about. So let's go over there now. Alright, Lachesis here again, live from Mount Hygel this time, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about that AoE rotation. So let's get right into it. First thing you want to do is you want to fly up really high, and then you want to hit a spell. This time I just hit my mount button, but you can do Thorns. Thorns works fairly well. Then you want to hit Flight Form and start swimming in midair, and then glitch out and eventually get into Flight Form. And find yourself a nice AoE pack, because you probably want to practice this once or twice before you get into a dungeon. Because, hopefully you're not tanking dungeons without knowing how to tank. So if you don't know how to tank, this is how you learn. If you do know how to tank and you just want to improve, then go into a dungeon and practice this. Alright, I got 4 mobs here. I got 5 mobs here. That will be quite enough for what I'm doing. As you can see, once again, I have made my action bar big so you can see exactly what's going on. Mangle is number 1, Swipe is number 2, Thrash is number 3, Lacerate is 4, Pulverize is 5, Maul is 6. Um, as a quick side note, I'm about to encounter a mob there. As a quick side note, I am using the Glyph of Maul. Your Maul ability now hits one additional target for 50% damage. It's not much, but it helps. You know, every little thing helps. Alright, I'm gonna pull all 6 of these guys here. Let's see, I'll pull that guy with a Fairy Fire. Jump right in the middle here. Alright, first thing I'm gonna do when I pull a group, I'm gonna swipe it and thrash it to get initial threat on everything. Then, I'm going to use Mangle on cooldown, I'm going to use Swipe on cooldown, and I'm going to use Thrash on cooldown. And probably Maul as well. Notice how I keep backing up? That's partly to get out of the Flame Strike, and partly to keep them all in front of me. You definitely want to keep things in front of you. You don't want them getting to your sides or your back. You can strafe away and let them hit your side, but don't simply turn your back on them because, look, I'm not dodging anything. I am actually absorbing quite a bit, but that's beside the point. So, Mangle, Swipe, Thrash, Swipe, Mangle, Swipe, Thrash, Swipe. Now there's only one left, so I'll go single target, Mangle, Maul. And there you go. That's my basic AoE rotation. In between there are points in the rotation where Mangle, Thrash, and Swipe are all on cooldown at the same time. And if I have enough rage, which in the situation you just saw I didn't, but usually in a 5-man or a raid, I will have enough rage that I can do this. I'll just lacerate for that global cooldown instead of leaving it dead. It's no longer than one global cooldown, and then something comes back up that you can hit. Probably Swipe because it's got such a ridiculously short cooldown. But that I basically take from old warrior tanking. You know, when a warrior would start tanking Shattered Halls or something like that, charge in, Thunderclap, use that on cooldown, and then just start tab devastating. So I'll start tab lacerating between other cooldowns. So, highest priority, Swipe, second highest priority. Can be Thrash or Mangle, doesn't matter which, or at least to me it doesn't matter which. I'll go with either depending on what I think. But make sure all 3 of these spells are always on cooldown. Spells, I should say attacks. All 3 of these attacks should always be on cooldown, and if they are on cooldown and you have a global cooldown available to you, use Lacerate, and then tab over to a different target. The final thing I want to say about this is when I'm AoE tanking, I am constantly smacking tab. I wasn't doing it quite so much back in that last situation, but I'm usually smacking my tab key constantly. And let me bring up my Omen window to show you why. /Omen toggle. You should download Omen, by the way. Up here is going to show me, whether I have the top threat on anything, whether our mage or our hunter is getting close to taking something off of me. So I'm constantly tabbing around and watching my Omen window to make sure that I'm on top of every mob that I have. So that's my basic AoE strategy. Back to the recording, or whatever. Bye. Oh, Lakesis here again. Forgot to mention one thing about AoE tanking. Berserk. When you really, really need that extra threat, or when you really, really need that big pack of mobs dead, use Berserk and just start tabbing around. You'll be hitting 3 targets at a time, not all of them, but you're mangling 3 targets at a time. And you're tabbing around, so you're never hitting the same 3 targets twice. So, you need that big pack dead really, really quickly. Charge in, swipe them, thrash them, hit Berserk, and just start mangle tabbing, and you're good to go. Alright, bye. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, Berserk no longer clears fear. Boo! Alright, gotta go now. Bye!